Hey everyone, CJF Hotshot here, and let's talk about Superman Son of Kal-El Volume 1, The Truth. I've just read the first trade of Superman Son of Kal-El after all, and I think that it is important to discuss the book in general because of how much controversy it has apparently caused. I will say this right away, it's not a bad book. It's very safe. I don't understand why there's so much controversy around it. Of course, I have notes about what the controversy could be. However, but we will go through issue by issue, vaguely. We're not going to do like a scripted review. I've got bullet points and a list. That's all you're getting from me. This is like free-form thoughts, Issue 1, for example, is set up with John Kent almost having the weight of the world on his shoulders. We see Clark Kent, Lois Lane, as well as Batman and the rest of the JLA, except the Flash for some reason, or saying that if he wanted to, John Kent could be anything he wants when he grows up, and that he would be just as good as Lois Lane and Clark Kent. And of course, we see this human side of compassion when John Kent saves the fire metahuman. I know they're called posthumans in the book, but for the sake of brevity, I'd say we stick to metahumans. Just because there's like so many types of powered people. There's people with superpowers, people with metagenes, people with post-human genes, and then there's the Marvel people, and it's just like, yeah. Anyway, the fire metahuman, John calms him down. Their powers seem to have been, sparked by anxiety, and John has a natural human-like heart towards him, which is very good, because you need a Superman who is very compassionate in this tale. And then John meets up with Damian, and we kind of see the first issue of people sparking this up, and it's just the truth, justice, and a better world thing. The truth, justice, and a better tomorrow thing. I don't get it, honestly. I'd have just stuck with truth and justice. However, a better world does kind of symbolize the whole theme of the series and what Tom Taylor is going for. So I think it works really well as we cut to the new Superman flying across the sky. Issue 2 kind of tries to subvert expectations with the secret ID that gets thrown out the window within the first 3 seconds. So it's just like, what? Why have the secret ID in the first place? And then you realize, it's just to set up the meeting between the two main characters of the book. And you'll see why I say two main characters. Issue 2 kind of shows the first cracks. This is when people started hating the series, and I'm going to defend this moment. It's the why don't you do more moment between John and Clark. Now, John, 17-year-old, teenager, he's going to be critical of his parents. That's how it is. However, Clark actually does take this remark seriously, and he says something a bit out of character. I think that Clark does belong on this world, and I don't think it was a debate to be had within the issue, but it should have been, why don't you do more? And then, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to come out that way. And then it kind of ended there, and as Clark reflects on it himself, That's what I would have done in that situation, but And then we get the meeting of Jay Nakamura. I'm going to call him Nakamura. Jay Nakamura, reporter for The Truth. He found out John Kent's secret identity within the first 3 minutes of John Kent having a secret identity like everyone else did. It was alright. There isn't really much set up to what comes later in the book, which is annoying because what comes up later in the book is the big stuff. And of course, the main villain of the book is revealed. And of course, the main villain is Brian Michael Bendis. Okay, his name's Henry Bendix. But let's call him Henry Bendis, because a name that similar couldn't be out of coincidence, and I think it's funnier that way. Let's be honest. So yeah, the villain is Bendis, and the whole point is that he's trying to, keep his quote-unquote nation paradise a secret, if that makes sense. He wants to give off the illusion that his nation's a paradise, where in reality, the nation of Gomorrah is experimenting on people for having powers. We start off issue 3 then, with the opening monologue, which sounds... The monologue is very John Kent. the whole "my dad is Superman" moment from Superman Rebirth. We get one of those again saying, "My father is my hero," and it's just like, oh, that's so cute. That is quite cute. And it's just typical Superman work. And then Superman gets arrested. John Superman gets arrested, and it's just like, really? Okay, but it's like, why? Innit? Especially since he gets broken out within like 5 minutes, so it's just like, yeah, innit? But it does kind of facilitate the meeting between Clark, John, and Jay as they invite Jay over for dinner. And as they have their way over for dinner, Jay Nakamura says hi to Lois Lane, and he's like gobsmacked because Lois Lane's like an amazing journalist, and it's quite cute. I quite like it a lot. Here's the thing, I like sort of Kal-El, especially these earlier issues, just because it is filled with a lot of charm. And then we say goodbye to Superman. We say goodbye to Clark Kent, and it is quite a heartwarming speech. Personally, I like Philip Kennedy Johnson's "Goodbye Later," like "Goodbye Better." You know, John saying that he will beat up Batman is the most awesome thing in the world. However, this is also quite very ceremonial, so I like it just as much. But I like PKJ's is better, so it's not really just as much, is it? Anyway, then the house gets blown up by Brian Michael Bendis. Just like that, Superman flies off Earth, and then his house gets blown up by his previous writer. It's like clockwork. The clock keeps ticking. I might have to speed this up. I'll keep going. So as the house blows up, John remarks to himself, the house shouldn't be exploding. Why isn't the JLA here? And I'm assuming that the Flash is dealing with ninjas in Keystone City or something like that. I know, he just came back from Gemworld. He's chilling with his family. He's taking it a little easy. But the JLA does respond to the distress call immediately, and they're gobsmacked by the metahuman, so John calms him down. And Jay Nakamura has powers. I should state this. Jay Nakamura has powers, and he phases through the explosion, and John's like gobsmacked, because he's just like, why didn't Jay tell me he has powers? But like, it helps for the brevity of the book, I think, so. We get the meeting with the Flash. Just like, hey, John, if you need to talk, I'm always here. I know what it's like stepping into your mentor shoes. So, hit me up. I'll be in Keystone City somewhere. Just look up in the sky and then look down, and then you'll see a flash of lightning, and that'll be me. And it's just like, oh, it's quite sweet. Yeah, it's just not much to talk about, really. We, of course, get the talk about Brian Michael Bendis. We get to talk about Henry Bendis, where he's like a huge terrorist, and this story becomes a little less centered around John and more around Jay. This really is Jay's conflict. Jay has more personal stake in this. And we're going to see Jay probably as the main character throughout the book after this moment, but this kind of starts as the pivoting point of that, I think. But I think it is necessary. However, we haven't had much characterization from John Kent yet. We haven't seen how he's dealing with the potential loss of his father. Like, he has expressed that his whole family's pretending that they're not panicking, but it would be nice to have like a show don't tell thing where he just like, sometimes he looks at the picture of Superman, like Clark Kent Superman, like a statue or an image on his phone. Like, I don't know, I think that had sold it more. Anyway, the Fire metahuman's back because he's been kidnapped by Bendis, and John's powers overcharge. And that's where we end issue 4 and start off issue 5, where John just goes berserk, saving people all over the world, and it is quite awesome. And then he burns out, and he tries to save more people, but Jay's just like, no. Sleep. Because he's burned out, innit? And we're going to get to the second controversial moment of the book, I think, and that is the kiss between Jay and John. Now, is this set up well? Not particularly. However, it's not offensive either. I don't know. We of course have the press and all the right-wingers who don't read Superman comics saying, Superman's gay now. And it's just like, nah, the other Superman's gay, the other Superman's bi, I should say. And it's just like, it is a nice moment, and I'd have tweaked it a little, like, showing, like, John at least being like, oh my god, that actually happened, oh my god, I like this so much. But as all in all go, this isn't a bad scene, and I don't know why DC revealed the kiss so early. Like this kiss was, like, revealed in, like, August 2021, I think. And, no, it was September because I was in college. It was in September 2021, and they revealed just this page, and then it was set off to IGN, and then the headline was Superman comes out as bi, and then all the conservatives started raging about, and it's just like, we can't win, can we? But it did boost up sales, which is, I think, what they wanted, and it's just a weird marketing technique. Personally, I would have advertised the book instead of the contents beside it, but that's just me. Either way, it is a nice scene, and it does feel a bit rushed. And I think Tom Taylor admitted that was a bit rushed. So I was just like, I know, this build-up should have been like issue 7, when they, like, got a little closer, just like a spark of attraction saying, why do I feel like gobsmacked by this beautiful man? Like, assuming this was, like, from John's perspective. And, like, why is my heart skipping a beat every time I see him? Like, you know, a little setup like that, I think, would have been, like, a bit more helpful to, like, sell the relationship a bit more, because not many people, like, people are indifferent about this relationship, I think, which is, like, fair, but at the same time, it would be nice if, like, we could sell people on it a bit more. Issue 6, I put, for my notes on this, Jay, John, and Bendis, and this is mainly, John saves the people of Gomorrah, and it turns out that Jay's mother, who was the previous president of Gomorrah before Bendis took over, is alive, which is wonderful. It gives Jay some stakes, and it gives John fuck all, which is a bit annoying, but it's just how it is, isn't it? Then we kind of get a moment that I think is a bit more important to me. Well, I say that. Jay's moments are obviously important, but John coming out to Damian, well, implying that John's coming out to Damian, just like Damian saying, I know, by the way. I know. I see how you look on your face. And it's just like, it's beautiful because, like, not much is said, but you can clearly tell, like, with the direction it's going, it's just like, oh, it's quite sweet. And then we cut to the Pride anthology written by Devin Grayson, and then it's just like, oh no, Damian doesn't respect John and Jay's opinions at all. He's not there for Pride. It's just like, fuck Devin Grayson, man. This isn't even about Devin Grayson's book. I'm trying to defend Tom Taylor here, but honestly, fuck Devin Grayson's Pride story for John Kent, because it did more damage than good. But, like, here in Son of Kal-El issue 6, we see Damian being supportive, and it's quite nice. Yeah. So where do we go from here? Obviously, I haven't read the contents of Volume 2 yet, because even though the issues of Volume 2 are out, the volume itself isn't out. I have skimmed a bit, and I know what's coming next, and I know that there's a bit more, like, stuff that people have complained about. Personally, I would have just changed small things. A few things to sell it a bit more. Have less said here, have more said here, have a bit more of John's perspective. How does John feel about living up to the legend of Superman? You know? Because we don't really touch on that after Clark leaves, which is kind of a missed opportunity. Like, we don't know how long this book will exist. It sells well, I know that. And with it selling well, I'm assuming that Tom Taylor will want to be on the book for as long as possible. But if Tom Taylor, like, say, gets kicked off of the book, or leaves the book, and someone takes over, and it doesn't sell as well, who knows how long this book will last? And I don't think it left the biggest first impression. It's selling well, but it's just, I can't articulate how I feel about this book. It's more just safe. It's safe, and it's like, a bit of it's really dull. I think one of the biggest complaints that I've seen from people, is that they just want to see John get smacked up by Doomsday, and learn the physical limitations of what Superman has to go through, which is just like fair. I do too. I think it'd be quite funny, but I think we might see that in Dark Crisis anyway. We might see that in the future. But it has been 1 year, and we haven't really seen John face up against too many major threats, other than Lex Luthor, Bendis, who are both billionaires instead of physical threats, and like the occasional metahuman. And it's just like, is that enough to be considered Superman? I don't know. This book should just be more, I think. It should just be more. I think it's going in the wrong direction for a hero's origin. I think even Mike Barron's Flash does it a little better. And like, this is coming from someone who thinks Mike Barron's Flash is more funny than good. But like, Mike Barron's Flash states right away that Barry Allen left Wally West a picture of what a hero can become, and some costume rings, and a way to do, and an example to how to do things right. And that put a lot of pressure on Wally, and we don't really see that type of pressure with John after Clark leaves. And also then there's the Dark Crisis stuff, and just like, John picks out a new Justice League, and he puts Harley Quinn there for some reason. It's just like, yeah. Overall, I do think more people should give Son of Kal-El a chance. It's a good book. Should it be better? Yes, especially for a hero's big debut. However, not many people liked Wally West as the Flash until Mark Waid started writing him, so maybe there is a chance for John's Superman to be more beloved as time goes on. That's assuming that he has enough time as Superman in the first place. Thank you all, and goodbye for now.